Well, we're getting new angles and a closer look at the inside of the family home on Omer Street there in Hamden, Vinton County, Ohio, where the family, known as the Siders family, did dwell. That would be G1, the elder Mr. Siders, his wife Christina, Gary Siders, number 2, the younger, and his wife Elizabeth Siders. This case has captivated us all. Be, probably, well, I mean, there's so many facets, right? This is like looking at a diamond that's just been it's sparkly. It's sparkly. I don't know. I just can't not look at it, right? It's just, no, it's horrible. It's not a shiny diamond, Gavin. That's the worst metaphor ever. No, it's not. It's captivated us because of how horrible it is and how there are 16 victims here, all of them little ones, right? Even the ones that are big, we understand, don't really have the capacity to they have learning disabilities, it appears, right? So these poor kiddos, these poor kiddos, at least if we believe what is being told to us by the authorities and by the court filings, these kiddos had a tough life, and they have a tough road ahead. And it leaves many of us, myself included, wondering, oh, what the huh? Like, how? What? Huh? What? That's the question that is in my mind right now. What? Huh? It just seems impossible that this kind of situation can happen now, right? In 2026. Now, if I can just pivot real quick to some bright news. Spoilers ahead if you haven't watched the game. Spoilers ahead, all right? So mute for the next few seconds. I'll give you 10 seconds while I cough. I think that's roughly 10 seconds. Wanda, what did you think? Was that close to 10? Wanda, how about this? How about can you give me like just a little bit of just a little piano music. So at the end of this piano music that Wanda is about to play, there's going to be a spoiler. Here we go. Guys, Argentina won today. Argentina is on to the finals v Spain. Argilandia v Españalandia. That's going to be great. Oh, I'm so excited. I thought it was going to come down to Argentina and France. I don't know, though. Can the old Albi Celeste... No, Albi Celeste. Blah, blah, blah. Can the Celeste bring it out? That's my question. Can they bring it home? 2 World Cups in a row. I don't know. Here we have this horrible case, and I got a stupid smile on my face because I know what happened in the Argentina-England game. I haven't watched the whole game yet. I just watched the highlights. I have to go back and watch the game. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Enough of this jocularity. First, we are going to talk about the whole Siders family thing. I've got a couple videos for you. I've got a virtual walkthrough of the property for you. I've got an article to read. We've got 3 questions. We've got a bit of a theme on 3 questions tonight. We've got some true crime headlines. Actually, you know what? I don't think that I prepared any headlines. Hold on, Gavin. Gavin, don't be a liar. Gavin did not. I only prepared good news. So we don't have headlines, but we have good news. Okay? So we're going to get into that. But first, let's get into the question of the day. This is fast becoming my favorite part of the live stream. This is maybe giving us a little bit of a sneak peek, a little foreshadowing, if you will, to the 3 questions segment later on. Question of the day is, if you could be named something else, what would it be? I have told you guys, Never really liked my name. I like the name Gavin just fine, and I like that I'm named after my dad. I like that. But Gavin Fish, that's just a. I don't like my name. Especially when, and I've told you guys this, when I worked in audio, one of the people that we collaborated with was a loudspeaker company, and the co-founder of that company is named Alone Wolf. So he got the animal name, but his name is Alone, Alon, Alone Wolf, and here I am, Gavin Fish. So if you could be named anything else, what would it be? Put that in the comments in the live chat, and tell me. Many of you, by the way, more and more of you every day are listening on the podcast or are watching over on Spotify. So you're part of the rewatch and re-listen crew. We do this on YouTube live, which is why it's so hilarious, if not a bit overplayed, when I ask Javi to edit something out in post. There's no post. There's no editing out anything in post. It's live. Where was I going? What was I talking about? We did the question of the day. If you could be named something else, what would it be? I talked about a lone wolf. I guess I lost my train of thought. But oh, yes. So while you're in the live chat, tell me where you're tuning in from as well. I love that. Put GF in your comment. That highlights it on my end and make sure that I can see it. And with that, Javi, I think it's time probably to press the button that gives the fancy little music doodad going. Go for it. This video contains mature themes and discussions intended only for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello there, my friend, and welcome back to another true crime conversation with me, Gavin Fish. My name is Gavin Fish. It's a weird name. It's a name that a lone wolf would have been cool. Would have been cool. But I'm stuck on that. I need to move on. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are saying you would like to be called in the live chat, and put it in the comments. For those in the rewatch crew, definitely want to see what you guys are saying as well. But today, what are we doing? We are talking about the case of 4 adults, ages in their 70s down to their 30s. Gary Siders, El Padre, his wife, Christina Siders, their son, Gary Siders, number 2, G2, and his wife, Elizabeth Siders. That's crazy. I'm so looking forward to Friday, because on Friday we're having Elizabeth Jones back on. Elizabeth Jones is going to be on every Friday moving forward for the foreseeable future, which I'm just looking forward to, because she's my buddy and we like to talk. And I love her channel, Hillbilly Crime. You guys should subscribe to that channel on YouTube. But when she was on Friday, we talked about how in impoverished areas, many people live the way the Siders did. This is their house, 182 Omer Street, right? Little 1,300 square foot little house. It actually, when you walk back far enough, if you can avoid the crime scene tape, it's a cute little place. It's got a little wraparound porch. I like the little gables, the lean-to addition on the back. It's a cute little place and it's surrounded by woods. But as you zoom up on it, man, oh boy, does this become just a horror of a place, in as much as it is a hoarder's paradise, just full of filth and decay and remnants of animal and human excrement. And I mean, I can smell these photos. To my understanding, everything that you're seeing on the screen right now that is in front of the house that is thrown out, that was thrown out by investigators. They were like trying to get in, or trying to get around, tossing stuff out onto the front lawn so that they had some room. Of course, the house is boarded up now. There is tape around it, at least as of a couple of days ago. And yeah, look at these are images that we've seen before, but I'm going to show you some new stuff here in just a bit. But just look at the absolute filth of this house. And like Elizabeth and I were saying, there are so many people that actually live like this in the areas in which we live. Certainly none of my neighbors, but not too far from me. Here are a couple pictures at the Post published inside their car. I mean, even the way they live in their car is gross. They're just dirty, filthy people, and it has leaded, it has caused me to wonder about drug use. Now, yesterday, many people, well, a couple people on the live chat were saying, no drug use. There's no drug use here, Gavin. Talks came back clean. I looked as much as I could today. I did not find any reporting on that at all. And I honestly just don't know how somebody lives like this without either an active drug addiction or serious mental health issues. And those mental health issues could be brought on by drug abuse, right? And by the way, I am sympathetic. I'm sympathetic to folks who fall into drug addiction and alcohol addiction, right? I'm sympathetic to it. I see the results of it all the time. In fact, we're going to talk about that a little bit on the after show today, which reminds me, today is Wednesday. Wednesday is the day we do our after show. That means it's time for me to send some the last 5 free memberships that I can send this month. Click. So there are some free memberships, y'all. Hopefully you'll be able to join us. Looks like Grammy Bethy B got one. Galen McGinty got one. Mackenzie Carter Cameron got one. Banana got one. And Gunker Goo. So hopefully you guys will be able to join me. To find the members only after show, go to my channel on YouTube, go to posts, and there is a link that only members can see. Or if you're a patron of mine, head on over to Patreon. There is a new post that has that link as well. We will be doing that today at 7:30. So hopefully you're going to join me there, and we're going to talk a little bit about my work day in and day out as a reporter, covering so much crime, and so much of that is surrounds active addiction and the behavior that people have to engage in and do engage in and choose to engage in because of their active addiction. So please join me for the after show if you're a member or if you're a patron. If you are neither of those things, please consider joining us. And please become a patron over on Patreon or a member here on YouTube. It's a way to support the channel that I deeply appreciate. But however you support the channel, by watching, by sharing, by talking about the channel, the shows, by liking and subscribing, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. By the way, 65% of my audience, not subscribers. 65%. That seems high. Doesn't that seem high? Like, dude, I don't want to subscribe to this bearded weirdo, but I'd appreciate it if you would. Okay. I want to start. I'm going to start with a story. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I got to check in with what you guys are saying first before we really dig in. But let me tell you this story. Okay. When I was new to the craft of reportage, that's the fancy way of saying when I had just gotten hired. There was shortly after I was hired. No, it was shortly before I was hired. There was a gruesome murder that happened out here in Western Pennsylvania. The victim's name was Brierly Walters. If you go over to Mail website, you'll be able to find this case. This is Brierly right here. She died in March of 2022. So yeah, check that out when you have a second. But in fact, is there a picture here? Did I post any pictures? I posted some pictures I took, but not the ones that I'm thinking of. Brierly lived in a house with her boyfriend and their children that was shockingly similar to the house that we are looking at that the Siders lived in. Though it was a 2-story home, it was very much in this same condition. I pulled up to that house before I was a YouTuber, and I thought, hey, here's a local story I'll be able to share on YouTube. I did, by the way. You can go back and see a couple videos that I did. And there was no yellow caution tape or crime scene tape around it, though there was a pile of the crime scene tape kind of up on the porch in a wad, right? So without crime scene tape there, I mean, of course I didn't trespass. I didn't go in. I stayed mostly on the sidewalk, but I took pictures of the house and I zoomed up on it, took pictures of the front door. I think I mostly, because I was new to reporting and kind of not very brave yet. So I think I stayed on the sidewalk the whole time. But anyway, when we get to 2 years later and it's time for the trial, one of the things that came out in trial is that the suspect, and later the guy who was convicted in her murder, her boyfriend, had told somebody, I think somebody who was leaving jail, or he told somebody through the messaging system, hey, go by the house and tear down all of that crime scene tape. I don't want that around my house, which is a crime, right? It is a crime. Now, why am I telling you this story? Well, I want to show you this video that's a local news report about the house out there on Omer Road. This is about a 2.5-minute video. And what she's saying is absolutely accurate here. Okay. And we will come back to the point once we watch this. Check this out.
Well, we continue to cover the 16 children rescued from a home in Hamden. The attention on this case has brought forward concerns about trespassing on that property in Vinton County.
And videos have been circulating, as well as pictures on social media that appear to show the inside of the home. None of these images are coming from official sources. 10 TV's Carla Rogner is back in Vinton County for us tonight, looking into these concerns. Carla, what have you learned?
Yeah, well, you really can't get a good view of the inside of the home from where we're standing here. You'd have to cross this yellow police tape and go try to peek into one of the windows, but that would be considered trespassing. The prosecutor said he is aware of videos that appear to show people possibly doing that, and he's looking into it. It's a dead-end street, but over the past 2 weeks, Omer Street has seen a steady stream of traffic.
I just wanted to do something with my feelings since it was so close. So here we are. It just really is so sad.
Jessica and her family are...
It is interesting, though, the feelings that we all kind of wrestle with, right? Like, we probably, none of us know these children, but we're offended by what appears to have happened to them.
Some of the many people driving by to see the home for themselves, where authorities say 16 children were living in deplorable conditions. The parents, Elizabeth and Gary Siders Jr., and his parents, Christina and Gary Sr., are all charged with child endangerment.
Really, I've just been following the story since it unfolded, and it's just really hard to understand how things get this way.
However, the prosecutor in Vinton County is aware that some people may be doing more than taking a quick look.
People who are going onto Omer Street need to be aware it's potentially a trespassing charge, and it could be a more serious obstruction charge. So the best advice is stay off the property if you don't have permission from the owner to be there.
And your office is looking into these videos?
We are investigating potentially who has been going onto the property, yes.
Archer would not confirm the authenticity of videos we showed him and said his office cannot share images from the inside as this investigation is ongoing.
There's a lot of AI stuff still going on out there, so we're still trying to sort out how much of this is real.
Yeah, so I did ask the prosecutor if we can expect an update in this case soon. He said not this week, maybe soon after. As a reminder, we're waiting right now to see if a grand jury will indict the four Siders family members on these charges. Reporting live in Vinton County, Carla Rogner, 10 TV News.
I actually forgot about that part. We are waiting to see if there will be indictments in the case. But the point of that video for me is, number one, guys, we are enthusiasts of true crime, right? And with that comes a certain curiosity. But we need to be responsible and respectful and not make it difficult on purpose outside of what is our constitutionally protected right. We shouldn't be doing stuff like trespassing. Okay. The story that I told where I had gone onto that property, I probably did step onto it a couple feet. Because I was new and there was no crime scene tape, but it turns out that a crime had been committed, and the tape had been torn down. Right. So if you see that tape, don't cross it, man. Don't cross it. Number one, it puts you at risk for a charge. Number two, it puts the case at risk needlessly. And I'm all for keeping people accountable, especially in government. Keeping people accountable is my thing, but don't do that kind of thing. Having said that, though, I'm such a hypocrite. I do have that video, and I have some other photos as well. And of course, we've looked at some of the photos that have been previously released that are just, I mean, they just show the, oh, I don't even, filth even isn't even as strong. It's not strong enough. The word is not strong enough. Filth is not a strong enough word. What's a stronger word than filth? Let's see. Putrefaction, squalor, ordure. Ooh, gross. Depravity. Oh, yeah. I don't like that. Ordure. That's gross. That's gross. But that is what's happening. Oh, Gavin, you're getting ahead of yourself again, man. Go over to the live chat and see what people are saying real quick. Kim Kroll saying lots of people cover this story. I enjoy Gavin. Thank you very much. Glad you were here. Thanks. Sack Baby, greetings from Ottawa. Sack Baby from Ottawa. I don't think I want to see the videos. I hesitated to even follow the story. What a tragic life for those children. Indeed. Donna Barnes, good to see you. Melissa, it's good to see you. Paulette saying this case hurts my heart. And that's probably exactly why all of us are reacting the way that we are. Diane Farah saying Messi is the GOAT. He's up there. He's in the top little herd of goats for sure. I do love Messi, but is he the GOAT? No. For me, no. But he is right up there. Melissa's saying, oh, Gavin, you're slipping. That's funny. Pearl Snap says Candy Bar is the name that she would like. Han Solo is another one that people would like. Kimberly says, I always like the name Shaylin or Chaylin if you're thinking a little more Argentine there, maybe. I don't know. Chaylin. No, that doesn't work. That does not work. Oh man, it just refreshed on me. Here we go. Ohio is in the house. Pennsylvania here. Ohio is here. Salt Rock, West Virginia is here. Just Jones says, Charlie. Idaho, says Caroline Taterville is checking in there. They're harvesting wheat behind the house. Upstate New York, Eastern North Carolina. Donna says she wishes she had Susie instead of Donna. Judy says, I always wanted my name to be Nancy until I got a neighbor named Nancy. Karen would have been a better name for her. My son named my granddaughter after me, so now I love the name. That's cute. That is cute. I saw an interview with Meryl Streep where she wanted her name to be like Susie, Kathy. But instead, she got Meryl. I actually think her name is Mary, but her dad called her Meryl. I can't remember, but yeah. Okay. Vincennes, Indiana in the house. Frida saying, watching from one of the many places experiencing haze from the California, Minnesota wildfires. Hope you stay safe there. K Bling, too hot in California. Gluten-free wildfire season now in UK because of the third heat wave in a row. We love our brothers and sisters in the UK, but I don't think you've ever experienced a heat wave. That's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. We don't have to fight. Them's not fighting words. Maybe talk to Miss Chivo's Dragon checking in from Central Texas if you want to know a little bit about humid heat waves. Good to see you, Chivos. A. Heinemann says, my name is Amy, but in high school I chose Renee for French class. I never figured out the French R sound, so couldn't pronounce my own name for 4 years. Never wished for a different name again. That's a great story. You could not figure out Renee? Could not do it? That is okay. We cannot all do it. Let's see. Who else we got? Cabling. Yep, it's not ugly, but no one to take any care of it or the children. Oh, yeah, the house. The house could be a cute little house for sure. Gluten-free. Aren't they tested for drugs after getting arrested? I would imagine so, but I have not seen any reports that have said anything. I may have missed it. I may have completely missed it, but I went on a hunt today looking for it, and I haven't done it. Let's see. On Andrew, no one changed the name. 614, cute. Please look into Kathleen Lennon's death. Supposedly self-inflicted. Your investigation would mean a lot and make a difference. Hey, Robin and Mooney, if you guys don't mind, would you remind me in Slack on that one? We'll take a look at it. No guarantee that I will do it. Some way, somehow says, eat a pickle when you get leg cramps. See the pickle on your cup? This is my dill hole cup. That pickle's in a shallow little dill hole. You can get these cups on my website. I drink from it on every show. Terrific, delicious water. Gluten-free says, what looks like laziness most of the time is untreated mental illness. I fail to see how people in 2026 still don't realize this. I think we do. I think most of us do. To me, that doesn't look like laziness. It looks like mental illness or active drug addiction. That's what it looks like to me. Gavin, there's a photo you show with a bucket on its side in the trash pile. The bucket is a Fireball container, an alcoholic drink container. Maybe their drug is alcohol? Yeah, possibly. Let's see if I can spot that. Yeah, Fireball, that bucket right there. Yeah, possibly. Good observation. Good observational skills, man. Amazing. Diane says, happy Wednesday. Glad you're here. Frida says, my ex's house was similar, although a lot of it was boxes and stuff, and there was a 2-foot wide passageway. Yeah, this is not hoarding. To me, anyway. What do I know? This doesn't look like hoarding. There are people that I know that are complete and utter hoarders, but still clean. Like you're saying. Boxes and containers and stacks and places to walk and stuff like that. Total hoarders. But this, I think, is a different thing. I think it's a different thing. Let's see. After I left the first time, he got some dogs and had 3 litters. Oh, inside alone all day for 12 plus hours. The ammonia smell was so bad I couldn't even stand outside by a window that was open. Yeah, I would imagine that this house has that same bouquet from the street. Hey, Jude says, I agree, Gavin. A couple of men neighbors went in and took a lot of video. It was horrifying. Yeah, I'm going to show the video because I'm a hypocrite. But yeah, this is you guys are saying a lot of stuff. We're gonna get back to it. Okay, what do I want to do next? Let me consult my agenda. We did the okay. So let me bring you over to this article right here. This is from what is it? Scioto Valley Guardian, I think is the Guardian. This was printed yesterday. Okay. Dateline Hamden, a virtual 3D tour of a century-old home in rural Vinton County reveals the harrowing conditions where 16 children lived until their rescue last month, offering a stark digital glimpse into what authorities described as unimaginable neglect. I have this 3D tour. We will go through it. Bugs crawl across surfaces in nearly every room captured by the tour. Piles of clutter and debris fill the living areas. In one living room scene, a small forget-me-not box from a labor and delivery unit sits among the chaos. We're going to have to be on the lookout for that stuff. A quiet reminder of new life amid the decay. A single baby doll lies discarded nearby. The tour leads deeper into the house, into a cramped back room, where officials say most of the children were confined, a space that underscores the isolation and hardship they endured. The home was not abandoned. People lived there, a multi-generational family paying rent in the small village of Hamden. Yet the 3D images paint a picture of severe disrepair, overwhelming smells noted by first responders, infestation, and filth that left investigators shaken. The children, ranging in age from about 18 months to 18 years, were removed from the residence on June 30th during the execution of a search warrant. 7 required hospital treatment that night, with 2 airlifted to trauma centers in serious condition. There has been a bit of, pushback against, what is his name, the Attorney General, Andy Wilson, for claiming, in fact, there was some legal pushback on it, but claiming that, or was it the sheriff? I can't remember, that had they gotten there 24 hours later, they think that there would have been death. There has been a little bit of pushback on that. However, 2 were life-flighted, guys. 2 were life-flighted. All are now in state custody and receiving care. 4 family members face 16 counts each of second-degree felony child endangerment. Gary Siders, 73, Christina Siders, 67, Gary Siders, 36, and Elizabeth Siders, 33. Very interesting how they, on this one, list it Gary Siders Sr. and Gary Siders the second. Very, people don't respect centuries-old nomenclature, okay? People just don't respect it. Wanda, I'm getting angry. Wanda, this is one of, I need to calm down, Wanda. Help me out. Just help me out. Gavin taking a breath. And now, Quiet Thoughts, Happy Thoughts by Gavin Fish. Yeah, okay, no, I'm just going to skip it. They said senior and the second, doesn't matter, okay? Gary Siders, the elder, was later released on his own recognizance bond following a medical emergency, with officials citing the high cost of his specialized care. The other 3 remain in custody. Special prosecutors from the Ohio Attorney General's office and elsewhere assisting in the case. Those are Assistant AG Kara Keating and then Highland County Prosecutor Annika Collins. They will be assisting Bill Archer, who we saw in that video before. Let's see. Special prosecutors from the Ohio Attorney General's office and elsewhere are assisting in the case, which is expected to go before a grand jury soon. Prosecutors have described the situation as an intra-family matter with no evidence of human trafficking or broader public safety threat. The family had ties to several nearby counties and had lived in the Vinton County home for about 4 years. The 3D tour now circulating, we're going to look at it here, as authorities continue their investigation, has brought renewed attention to the case. It allows viewers to navigate the very spaces where children slept, played, and struggled to survive, serving as a digital record of conditions that officials say could have turned fatal without intervention. Investigators continue to seek additional information about the family's history and the children's welfare. The case remains active as prosecutors build their filings. Speaking of filings, I did go to the court website today to check to see if there are any new filings. The gag order and the motion for the order from yesterday are still the only ones on G2's case. The other three cases don't have anything new. Nothing except since the 13th when there were some appearances. But nothing, no motions that I can see so far today. All right, so let's go over to the 3D tour. Okay, this is actually hosted on Zillow, guys. This is hosted on Zillow. If you have not seen this, it's something else. I wonder if this was on the like when the house was for sale, or at some point was the house for sale while they were renting it, and so some poor guy from a local real estate company had to come in and do these. But I'm just gonna scroll around. This is the front entry. Now in the live chat, if you want to see anything in particular, I can zoom in. Look, those are, oops, those look like wipes. That looks, I mean, it's hard to tell through the filth of what all that is, but that does look like a pack of wipes there. I mean, some of this stuff, this is, I mean, just look at the heap of trash. It's just a heap of trash bags. I don't know if that kind of looks like a little compressor of some sort. We've got a couple bicycles in there, or a bicycle. That we've got a high chair in there. I'm not sure what that is. If that's some sort of like washing machine, or maybe one of those stand and play kind of things, an exerciser or of some sort for a child. It's just so bad. And of course, there are views into other rooms here. I'm not sure what in the picture that was done by the New York Post, that looked like it was like a chest freezer to me. But now looking at it, I can't tell if that's like a garbage can, which would be ironic. It'd be that tiger print that we have seen before, and then a view into the next room, which we will be going in. Just mugre, man, just mugre. And then a view into this room looks to be like the worst room. And look, like, again, this is an historic home. This house is 100 years old. Look, that's a stained glass window. This old house is just abused. Let's see if we can look up at the ceiling. Oh my goodness. So gross. Just even the ceiling is stained. There's stains on the ceiling. So bad. All right, so that was the front entry. Let's go, let's see. I think maybe the kitchen. Hold on. I want to see maybe the living room. Okay, so now we're in the living room. This coming from the front entry, we're in the living room. Gonna zoom back. There is, again, stained ceilings. Looks like there's a ceiling fan in there. A couple of small windows. A couch that I wouldn't be caught dead sitting on. I think I would, an open suitcase. It's just utter filth, man. Just utter filth. So gross. What is this box? That's the forget-me-not box right there. Oh, goodness. So sad. All right, let's go into the kitchen. All right, now we're in the kitchen. Got a refrigerator, crock pot, just dishes everywhere. That's the room that we just came from. That's, I don't know what that room is. That small back room. I mean, just look at this. Cabinets open, just with stuff. Those look like unopened food cans. So they had some food in there, some dry food, some beans, something like that right there. Just the filth that just covers everything. Covers everything. Oh, it's just so sad. Let's go into the bathroom. Oh, I feel bad for the person who had to take these pictures. There's a stand-up shower bathtub. I don't know how that you could close that door to use the bathroom. A sink and a toilet. Light bulbs missing. Just filth on the floor. Just so bad. We'll go back out to the kitchen. Let's go into there's like a guest room. Let's see it. It's having a hard time. Maybe I have to reload it. Let's go to the guest room. Uh, Holes in the walls, electrical wire. You can see like Romex going through the walls. More sheetrock falling off the walls. Just more filth. Looks like another high chair there. Window coverings that are just blankets. You can see the lath from Lath and Plaster. The plaster is all fallen off. Yeah, this is that room that has the stained glass window. I don't know how 4 people could occupy all of this space and have room for each other. Like, where are they laying down? Where are they sleeping? Look at that. Just look at that. So bad. Okay, we'll go back out the front entry. Let's go back to the living room. We've seen this, and then into the kitchen again. I think there's a owner's bedroom. Yeah, okay, so let's do the owner's bedroom. Oh, good, a flat screen TV, so we got that. We've got a rope hanging across it, like a laundry line almost, but I don't know that they were doing laundry. A mattress and box spring that are just like up, like up. They're standing up. How does anybody live here? It's just so much mugre, man. And then back door. Let's go to the back door. This, I believe, is the room where the 16 children were kept. There's a mattress laying on the floor. The cushions from the couch are on the floor. Yeah, the drywall is broken open. There it appears to be like a in-window air conditioning unit there. At least there's that, and a back door. Hang on just a second. This has pictures of the police line "Do not cross." So I thought that this might have been from like a previous sale listing, but this is recent. It has the yellow tape. Oh my goodness. Holy cow. Look at this room, guys. This is like that lean-to. So I'm just gonna, you see that? Yeah, you can see in the picture of the house, the lean-to section that was added onto the back. with the window air conditioner unit there. That is what we're looking at here. Yeah, it's definitely an addition. It steps down from the main level of the house. It is messed up, man. Oh, goodness sake. This kind of thing makes me sad. The coloring on the walls, right? That's reminiscent of, when I read A Tale of Two Cities earlier this year, because I've been on a kick to read fiction. I read A Tale of Two Cities, and there are several scenes in the prison. Yesterday was Bastille Day, by the way. The anniversary of the storming of the Bastille, what is now considered French Independence Day. Also, the 78th birthday of my father. So, man, that was a tangent on a tangent. Anyway, this reminds me of like prisoners trying to find something to do. Color on the walls, break the drywall off. Oh, it's just so gross. I don't know what that looks like, an extension cord coming out of the wall. I can't tell though. It's so dangerous. Just so utterly dangerous and gross. I think we got every room, right? We did the back door of the kitchen, the bathroom, the owner's bedroom, the living room, the front entry, and the guest room. And I will put this link in the live chat for y'all. Let me put it in here. I can add it to the description as well. Why did I do that? Let me just add this to the description so that you guys can get to it easily. 3D view of inside of house. Okay. If you refresh, it'll be there, and it's also in the live chat. Whew, guys, that is something else. That is, I'm feeling so sad right now. So sad. Let me see what you guys are saying over in the old live chat. Let's see. Devo Mama coming in with a super chat. Thank you very much, Devo Mama, saying, watching from Charlotte, North Carolina. We love Gavin Fish. Thank you very much, and thank you so much for the super chat. Shay says, I know someone that hoards. I will never understand it. I just hope these people can find help, but those that are in this don't realize they have a problem. Yeah. Ohio Palm Mom says, hoarding can definitely look like this. You're probably right. I've never seen it, but you're probably right. I've seen it on TV. Of course, yeah, it looks like that. Mischievous Dragon, someone tore out the bottom of the walls. Was there flooding remediation that was never finished? It didn't look like that to me. It looked like just like the angst of being imprisoned. You start to pull apart at the house. Those milk crates are probably their furniture. Yeah, I don't know where they lay down other than that back room. But if they're 16 kids... Dreadlover, it did not give a date on that 3D, but I think it had to have been after June 30th, after we saw that yellow police tape. Frida saying, scroll to the ceiling. Is that black mold? Oh my goodness. I'm sure that it is. It's just, oh no, let me bring it up here. Yeah, the stuff on I'm sure. Just, yeah. Oh, these poor kiddos, man. Melissa says, yes, that's a small freezer. Okay, that's kind of what I thought in the beginning. So you're probably right. Just past the fridge. Yeah. Looks like mold, says Mooney. Yeah, they couldn't have been healthy in here. Donna Panel says, new watcher from the UK. Love your channel. Well, thank you and welcome to you. Love having friends in the kingdom. C. Delaney says, Gavin, if I recall correctly, remember that house was in a trust and they passed away about a year ago, so that's probably when the listing was from. Yeah, maybe. But now that I saw, and I know that I'm scrolling back in time, you guys were talking as I was doing that, maybe Maybe it was recent because of that yellow tape. Chronically Kimberly. The person taking pics probably wore a hazmat suit. Well, if they didn't, I wish they would have. Yeah, not 4 people, 20 people. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the point. Like, how could one person move around in there and find a place to sit, find a place to lay down? Let alone 4, let alone 20. Craziness. It boggles, man. It boggles. And guys, how do we I don't even know how to formulate this question. How do we help? How do we help? Because I'm telling you, houses like this exist where I live. I remember going to help somebody move. We just moved here, and it was somebody, that was coming to church, and they needed help moving. And I went and I arrived at a place like that. Couldn't believe it. Yeah. It almost seems like everyone slept in that basement room. Maybe that is what happened. Maybe they all just piled in there. Pearl snaps. Do you know if the children left the house? If not, what did they do all day in there? Horrible. Nobody knew about the kids. At least that's what they're saying. Everybody is saying that nobody knew about the kids. That was a really poor sentence structure. Javi probably will have to edit that out in post. But yeah, I think they stayed inside. And I think that's one of the reasons that, well, I don't know. I shouldn't pretend to know anything about human psychology. I know nothing about it. But when you look at this room, it just looks like angst, anxiety, depression. It looks like prison walls. It looks like you're inside the Bastille, man. And what are you gonna do? Oh, it's just so sad. Yeah, I cannot believe they have a huge flat TV intact. Incredible. Yep. Mary Shaw is echoing what a lot of us are saying. Not echoing, saying what a lot of us are thinking. Sick to my stomach just seeing these photos. Dietitian, do we know when this virtual tour was taken? The only indication that I have is this police tape. And that says sheriff line, do not cross on it. So unless this was the site of another investigation in the past, I think this was June 30th. I really do. Yes, that bedroom was the same one from the website main pic. Joanne Marie, drone footage. I am a certificated drone pilot. I have my, now I'm blanking, my Part 135. It is true that they don't have jurisdiction over the sky. But I think going inside the house with a drone would be not advisable. Yeah, I didn't see a basement. Some were reporting that's where the kids slept. I didn't either, but I wondered if this is the room they're talking about, because you can see that they step down like 4 steps or 3 steps into this room. Maybe they're calling that the basement. You know what I haven't seen is like this room. Maybe this room doesn't exist, or maybe it does, but the people who did this 3D tour just didn't get down into it. I don't know. I do not know. Very good question, comment. I like it. You guys are, yeah, it is hosted on Zillow. It is hosted at Zillow.com. It's a View 3D home, part of Zillow, and I've shared the link with you guys so you can see it. Brian Hinton reported today that the children were reported truant. Interesting. Very interesting. Super chat, sister of Devo Mama here. Oh, nice. Sending a little more love to Gavin. We love your channel. Well, thank you very much. And I'm glad that it is a family affair for you guys. That's so cool. Very cool stuff. Didn't they say there were kind of feces on the floor? Can you scan the floor? Yes, they did say that. Let's go back over here and just, it's hard to, for me, it's hard to see. I'm sure the smell would be the dead giveaway, though. I don't see anything obvious. Ooh, this whole thing. Yeah, where do they sleep? Asked Patricia. Melissa says, to help, you just have to have better eyes to see this happening. This economy we're in is going to be even worse. Yeah, and we need to know what to do after the fact, right? If we see something, what do we do? You know what we need? We need an expert on. We need an expert to talk about this. Hey, if you are an expert or know of an expert, a social services person that has seen this kind of stuff and you want to come on, please go to my website, gavinfish.com, and click on this little link right here and just reach out to me. And in the meantime, I'll put some feelers out. I would love to talk to an expert on that knows about this kind of thing, why people do this. It'd be so amazing to talk to somebody like that. Okay. I don't want to belabor this too much. It does look a little bit like a carport, Mooney, in that it's a lean-to structure on the house. So possibly, it's possible. But there's one more thing that I wanted to show you guys. It's the video. Let me show you the video. That it's only 45 seconds long, but we might as well watch it. Here we go. No sound to it. This is purportedly inside that house. Yeah, this is that room. This is that room. They're looking in through that back door. Electricity is still on. The ceiling fan is still on. Yeah, so they just poked the camera in the door. But that is that room, and that's the kitchen there. And I mean, to me, I'm pretty satisfied that that this is the place. It just let me just play it one more time here. It's a short video. Oh, it looks like they're lifting up stuff there to see what's underneath it. Wow. Hope they have gloves on. My goodness. The kind of ozone generator that you would need in order to de-stinkify that place. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. I'm just sorry. The people that are listening to this and not watching it, I'm the world's worst play-by-play commentator. Just the whole thing is just so sad. So we're going to keep our eyes on this case for sure, y'all. Hopefully we will have that indictment soon. Hopefully we'll have more stuff that is filed with the court soon to kind of figure out what's going on next. A little checkaroonie of me old, let's see, agenda. Oh yeah, I don't have any true crime headlines today. Today was a day that I got so much done. Unfortunately, it didn't give me time to get headlines. However, I do have good news today. You guys know I'm a sucker for good news. But why don't we go ahead and hop into 3 questions, shall we?
It's 3 questions with Gavin Fish.
All right, 3 questions. The theme today of 3 questions is that they all come from the same person. Dana. Dana sent in a bunch of questions. Question number 1. If you could write a sitcom about your life, what would you name it? I think I would be like Newhart or something, where I would just go like Gavin or something. However, I asked Wanda if she could write like the theme song to a sitcom starring yours truly. She titled the sitcom See You All at 6. Wanda, take it away.
Every morning brings another story. Every road can take a different turn. Some days leave you laughing, some leave questions. Every day's another chance to learn. So come on in, pull up a chair. We'll figure it out together there. No matter where the day has gone, you'll always know where I'll be on. I'll see you all at 6 tonight.
Wanda, that was really good. And you got the arms of the Hydra. How you're able to play all those instruments and sing at the same time. That wasn't Wanda's nephew. That was Wanda singing. You are amazing. Let's just hear a little bit of it again, Wanda. Can we? Wait a minute. Just the beginning of those drums. How do you do that? Do it again.
Every morning brings another.
Okay, that's enough, Wanda. It was so good. So good. So I guess my sitcom would be See You All at 6 or See You All at 6 tonight. Question number 2. What would, by the way, I like questions that you can answer in the live chat or in the comments. So you answer that question too. If you could write a sitcom about your life, what would you name it? Question number 2. What alias would you use to remain anonymous? Dana, this is a bit of a dodge, but it's a dodge for anonymity's sake. I do have an alias that I use for anonymity, and I will not be sharing with you what that alias is at all. No, I won't be doing that. But I do have an alias. Now, maybe Ken Adams, maybe Regina Phalange, maybe. Speaking of sitcoms. You guys tell me what your alias would be. And question number 3, a tornado is heading toward your home. Other than family and pets, what 5 things are you grabbing? I'm grabbing nothing. There's nothing that is worth saving other than family and pets. And for me, like, this is horrible, but pets are down on the list. Like, that's horrible. That's so horrible. It's just trying to grab those cats. If a tornado was coming, that would be like impossible. But if they weren't running away, I'd grab them. I have a friend who lost his home to a fire, and he lost his cat. The cat ran into the fire. Oh, so sad. Okay, so those are our 3 questions, guys. If you could write a sitcom about your life, what would you name it? What alias would you use to remain anonymous? I'm going to say Ken Adams. I like Ken Adams. And a tornado is heading toward your home. Other than your family and pets, what 5 things are you grabbing? And while you are answering their questions, how about we hop into headlines, shall we?
True crime headlines.
Haha, it was a false start. It was a false start, everybody. I don't have a lot of headlines. All I have is good news. But I've got Wanda has been working on some good news theme song. So Wanda, take it away with what are you going to do for us today? Surprise me, Wanda. Oh, Wanda on the drums again. Wanda. Wow. Arms of the Hydra, man. You are just doing such good work. in there today, Wanda. And your voice, I feel like maybe you need a throat lozenge or something. But it was great. It's great. It's great. All right, guys, join me for good news over here. You know, I'm a sucker for animal-related good news. This from People. Turtle rescued after decades eating cat food gets new best friend. Oh no, this turtle has had a life like the poor little Ohio 16 kiddos. But I think it's going to be good news. More than a year after an eastern box turtle emerged from nearly 50 years of living in darkness and surviving on cat food. Oh, her rescuers say the reptile has reached another remarkable milestone. Rockalina, whose rescue by Garden State Tortoise captured millions of hearts in 2025, has been successfully introduced to another turtle for the first time since she was taken from the wild as a hatchling in the 1970s. Quote, she's actually become a turtle, Garden State Tortoise founder Chris Leon tells People exclusively. The more time goes on, the more we're seeing her become what her species actually is, and we're also getting to learn who she is as an individual. Look at her. Oh my goodness. People previously reported that Rockalina was surrendered after spending roughly 5 decades inside a dark basement where she was fed almost exclusively cat food and experienced very little to no natural sunlight. When rescuers first met her, Rockalina's eyes were sealed shut, her nails were severely overgrown, and cat hair had become tightly wrapped around one of her legs. Although the family who owned Rockalina attempted to domesticate the wild species, Leon believed the turtle didn't adapt to captivity at all and went into hibernation to survive. 50 years. Instead of becoming a dog begging on the kitchen floor like every time you try to eat dinner and the dog's right there waiting for you to drop something, she shut down, he explained. She became dormant, almost went into a hibernation-like state to where she was able to conserve things. She was able to conserve moisture and hydration in her body. She was able to conserve some calories, and she ate the cat food only for the longest time. Leon said Rockalina's former living space was an overly dry, artificial environment, which over time led to the turtle's external deterioration. That was their way of domesticating her, but she couldn't become domestic. She's a wild animal at heart, he added. Thankfully, Leon and his team were able to rescue the turtle right in the nick of time, noting that with no clear knowledge of just how long she'd been in that state, he was confident she could have dropped at any moment. This kind of reminds me of our kiddos in Ohio. Oh, that's cute. Eating strawberries with a smile. Today, Rockalina spends her days in a large outdoor enclosure built specifically for eastern box turtles. According to Leon, she eagerly hunts worms, slugs, and snails on her own, returns indoors each night for safety, has embraced life outside. Quote, the other day when we took her to the vet, there was a wing from some kind of bug hanging out of her mouth, he says with a laugh. She has really been busy hunting things down. Perhaps the biggest milestone came when rescuers carefully introduced her to a young, captive-born eastern box turtle named Pebble. Here's Pebble with Rockalina. Because Rockalina has spent nearly 5 decades isolated from other turtles, Leon said the team wanted to proceed cautiously with the introduction, first ensuring both animals were healthy and unlikely to view each other as rivals. The meeting exceeded expectations. She was curious immediately, Leon says. She was sniffing it, licking it, looking it dead in the eye, walking around with it. The pair even shared a strawberry, one of the box turtle's favorite treats. Baby got some. Rockalina got some. He recalls it was fantastic. The two turtles now peacefully explore their habitat together while still living, giving each other space. Well, that makes me happy. It makes me sad. Maybe there will be a happy ending for our kiddos in Ohio as well. And those guys are your headlines. Push the red button.
True crime headlines.
Okay, a couple of just very quick. I just want to see what some of your comments were. Let's see. Coffee time for D. Question 2. Beatrice Jones. Question 3. Family and pets. That's all I need. Mooney says, Gavin, question 3. She continues, other than family. Got to show you guys this. other than family and pets, I'm grabbing as many LPs as I can. Ah, good for you. Good for you. That's good. Samantha is saying, Gavin, did you cut your hair? Haven't been on, so didn't know if you did. I did indeed. I did indeed. I made it to my goal, so I cut it. Some way, somehow says, this isn't good news, Gavin. No, there is. It's the silver lining, guys. It's the silver lining. That poor little box turtle has a new buddy, and Mooney sees it. Mooney sees it. That's the way it is. It is Rockalina and Pebble, indeed, indeed. So, and indeed, Bartholomew says, who doesn't like strawberries? Indeed. I love strawberries. They are my favorite berry. In fact, I find it hilarious that the human creature, all of us, like to eat fruit flavored candy more than we like to eat the fruit. It's a funny quirk of humanity. Guys, that's it for tonight. Now, in about 15 minutes, we are going to start the members only after show. The format is going to be pretty relaxed, pretty, I guess, just ask me what you want to ask. What I have prepared for you is to talk a little bit about what I do on the daily in terms of crime reporting and what that looks like and how you might be able to learn that craft as well. I mean, it's a learnable thing. So that's what I've prepared, but we could talk about anything. The link to the members only live stream is in the posts tab on my channel. So just go to YouTube, go to posts, and there, if you are a member, you will see the link. If you're on Patreon, go to the latest post on Patreon and you will see the link. And hopefully we will see you all in there, all you members, here in about 15 minutes. With that, I bid you adieu. Thank you very much for being here tonight. I will see you on the next one. Take care.